All right, traders, within this video, we're going to be planning for tomorrow. This is going to show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices heading into tomorrow. We're going to be going over the top option plays. We're going to be going over the in-depth price action analysis for the SPY, along with the top stocks that I'm going to be watching on my radar for tomorrow. This is expected to be a very lucrative trading day with the key levels we are at. I'm going to be recapping the price action for today as well, along with some of the trade recaps. Today was a fantastic trading day, already recovering very, very nicely from my loss yesterday. With that being said, let's get straight into this video lesson. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So SPY, let's talk about SPY. SPY is at a make it or break it level, and I want to bring awareness to this. This is a very strong wick. This is a very strong support level. What is this level at? $380.54. That's that key support level, that key bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick, big upside, big upside, big upside, gap to fill at 401.44 level, right? Now, what if I told you if this level reacted as a resistance level? That would be extremely bearish, because instead of having that big upside move, it would have that big downside move to then fill this gap at $365.86, which is the best price to buy calls on SPY for those of you wondering. And then it would potentially have that gap close reversal when it fills this gap, right? So I want you to understand, we are truly at a make it or break it level for the SPY. SPY hit the middle right here towards the upper middle, towards the upper gap fill at 389.80. It filled the gap. It had a reversal, formed a very bearish candlestick. It's been going lower ever since. We are now 2 days in a row where this, $380 level overall has been reacting as a resistance level. Now, let me ask you a question. How does this chart look to, how does this chart look like? What does this chart look like to you, right? It looks pretty bearish, right? Because if you just study how we're reacting, look right here, it's forming resistance. It's got this wick, it's forming resistance. Boom, sells off for new 52-week lows. Isn't it reacting similar? It's forming some resistance. It's forming some lower highs. It's turning this previous low with big upside potential, this previous support, strong wick, into resistance. See how it's turned into resistance? See how if the SPY reacts at this low as a resistance level instead of a support, see how if it forms those top wicks, those top wicks, those top wicks, those top wicks, high of the candle wicks towards that support channel instead of the bottom at the top of the resistance on the daily, it sells off. It looks like a massive pullback is coming. And this video is going to prepare you to trade for tomorrow, because we are going to have a long holiday weekend. Monday is going to be closed. We got 4th of July coming up. And with that being said, we got to crush it, man. We got to absolutely crush it. We got to finish this week as strong as we possibly can. So let's get into how we can do that, right? So in terms of SPY, what did it end up doing today, right? And you can see it's just getting crushed to 374. Big shout out to Greg, who ended up swing trading puts overnight that expired July 1st. Big shout out to him. He took the risk. He saw the pattern, and he's absolutely killing it right now. Look at this. We are getting absolutely murdered in extended hours. I was bearish on the daily chart heading into the close. I didn't want to take a swing trade. That's just me personally. If you took the risk, congratulations, it's paying off. But there's still going to be opportunity for tomorrow. Anything can occur, and that's what this video is going to prepare you for you. So in order to understand tomorrow, you have to understand what happened today, and this is going to be recapping some of the trades as well. So SPY had a massive gap down, and right now, SPY's having a massive gap down. So we're seeing some relations, some similarities, right? And then what did SPY do? It had a sell-off in the morning from market open. It then bottomed at 10 a.m., and it ripped back up to fill the gap. And if you watched my video yesterday, and if you were within Trader Society and within the watch list section, I told people this morning before the market opened, SPY is bullish. It's on track to fill the gap. If you want to buy puts, wait for the gap right here, this blue line, the previous closing price, the PCP strategy. Wait for the gap to fill at 380.34. Then grab the puts. And that's exactly what I did. But not only did I buy puts at 380.30s and sell way too soon and get in multiple times, but I did also take advantage of the gap fill play by buying calls. If you watched my video yesterday, we were talking about this 377 level. This 377 level was a make it or break it level. 377 to 378, there was a gap to fill and SPY at 378. And I had said, if you see 378 react as support, and even better, if there's a gap to fill above as it's reacting as support, which it had a breakout here and reacted as support and had another breakout right here, you're going to want to buy calls to ride it back up to fill the gap. And that's exactly what I did. I made a 33% return in 11 minutes buying calls. Once I identified right around here that it reacted as support, I bought calls for the breakout, and I literally sold at 11:27 a.m. I sold right before it crashed back towards my initial entry for a 33% profit return on the closest expiration call options, 1 point out of the money. But with that being said, that was a nice little scalp that I had today. And then in terms of the puts, like I said, I waited until the gap filled. Initially, I got spooked out, but then I got back in, made it all back, and made even more. We were alerting puts today within the chat in terms of the best prices in the gap close reversal strategy. We were alerting puts as soon as the gap filled at $380. As soon as this gap filled, we were alerting puts. Look at this. Does this look bullish when you see this top wick, this bearish wick at the gap fill level prior to SPY rallying 8 points, almost 8 points in 2.5 hours in a bearish market to fill the gap? And then it forms this top wick, sells off, retest another wick. When you see these wicks on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, at these gap fill levels, at these gap close reversal levels, you're going to want to scalp puts, ride it back down a little bit. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. Again, sold way too soon on the put side, much more smaller wins. But the entries today were spot on. The entries were fucking phenomenal with my first couple trades. And then after that, it was just some quick in and out scalps, not the best setups, not the best prices. But I sized in very accordingly. I traded very, very well today. Massive improvements from the mistakes in trades that were made yesterday. Today, I basically pretty much killed it. It was a phenomenal day. But yeah, those were truly the best prices to kind of ride it back up to fill the gap. And then once the gap filled, as soon as it fills and you see those wicks, you see that resistance, you see the lower highs, you see those wicks, these ovals I'm drawing, all confirmations to buy puts when the gap fills. Boom, boom, and boom, right? All confirmations right here. Here's another nasty wick right here. These are all confirmations, these 1 minute candles, to buy puts, ride it back down towards that support zone right around here, right? I played the key breakdown as well on the puts. So I'm heading into tomorrow. What's the game plan, right? So I was kind of recapping the trades, giving you some information. It was just such a phenomenal strategy using two different strategies. Basically, I ended up buying the calls on the breakout. So like I said, 377, 378 gap fill level, key support level. If it reacts as a resistance like it did in the morning, it's going to get crushed. If it reacts as support, it's going to break out to fill the gap if it gaps down, which it did, right? So once I noticed that it reacted as support, started breaking out, bought calls, sold for a nice 33% win on the calls. And then, like I said in the pre-market, if you want to buy puts, wait for the gap to fill. Once the gap filled, bought puts, and overall, had some nice wins on puts overall. So that was a classic gap close reversal. There was multiple opportunities to play for the gap close reversal, right? So never fight the trend. The trend was bullish here to fill the gap, but once the gap fills and it's overextended and it rallies 8 points in 2.5 hours in a bear market, that's your opportunity for puts. That is your opportunity for put options. When the gap fills, you see it react as a resistance. We call this a gap close reversal. So if you ever see SPY, if you ever see a stock have a massive gap down, and it quickly rips back up to fill that gap, and then you start to see bearish confirmations. What are the bearish confirmations I like to look for? I like to trade the chart. So I look for wicks. I like wicks. I like these top bearish wicks, these top bearish wicks, these top bearish candlesticks. I like lower highs, breakdowns of support. I like to scale in towards the gap fill level once we start forming wicks, once we start forming lower highs, once we start forming those bearish wicks, those bearish candlesticks, right? And then ride it back down a little bit towards key support, right? So two ways to play it: gap fill on calls and then gap close reversal on puts. Phenomenal trading day. Amazing improvements from the trades that I made yesterday. Already back on fire. With that being said, how do we crush it again for tomorrow? So we spoke about how the best level for puts yesterday was at the previous closing price since SPY was gapping down at 380.34. That's where you're going to want to play the puts if it has a big gap down. So same thing today, just a lower price. So SPY's having a massive gap down. We're going to do the same fucking thing that we did today. Just know SPY is really bearish, right? I don't think anybody's going to want to be buying and holding over this long holiday weekend. I think people are going to be cashing out, enjoying their profits, not buying and holding, and then, celebrating the holiday, right? So with that being said, in terms of SPY, focus on puts. I want you to focus on puts tomorrow, but you need to get in at good prices. So just understand, we've already had a nice gap down, right? So here's my ideas for tomorrow, right? These are my ideas. If it looks extremely bearish, you can try playing puts at some sort of pre-market resistance tomorrow. So like, for example, this was pre-market resistance today, and then SPY retested it. You can try that. The best thing to do is to wait for it to go back to the previous closing price. 377.25. 377.25, there's going to be a gap to fill above. That's going to be the best price to buy puts on SPY tomorrow. 377.25, right? Ride this back down. Now, we need to discuss targets, and we need to discuss how bad can this get for the SPY. So the make it or break it support level heading into tomorrow is going to be right here. We're going to call it $372.70. How low can the SPY crash if we crack 372.70? If we crack 372.70, this is where the SPY is going to be on track to go. $370. $370 will be the next support level, and that is make it or break it. If 370 cracks, it's going to be a bloodbath to fill the gap below to 366. Best level for calls, 366. Remember that. I'm willing to buy calls at 366. No matter what situation, I'm willing to do it. So just know, if 372 cracks, the target is 370. If 370 cracks, then it starts to really fill that gap at 366, right? Those are the key levels for downside potential. Now, let's discuss upside potential, because this is going to be important as well. Make it or break it support is 372.70. If it holds, we will be on track to pump back to around $375, right around $375. This is a make it or break it support level, right? So like I said, recommendation for puts, you can try a quick scalp at open. If it's not at the previous closing price, it's not the best price. If you're going to do it, make sure it's towards pre-market high resistance, morning rip, morning spike, quick in, quick out within 20-30 minutes, right? Just pay attention to the trends, right? We're doing the same thing as yesterday right now. We're gapping down. So the trend is showing that we saw a morning sell-off, and then SPY started rallying to fill that gap up. It started at 10 a.m. Once the gap filled, had a reversal, sold off. So just keep that in mind for tomorrow. That's going to help you a lot, right? So like I said, best price for puts, $377.25. Best price for calls, $366. We are currently gapping down like yesterday. If you are going to try and attempt puts lower than the previous closing price, I would only do it at the market open if it's retesting and looking bearish and forms a bearish candlestick towards open at pre-market resistance, at pre-market highs. Make sure it's a much smaller position size with a tighter stop. Now, say you get stopped out, or say you lock in gains quickly within the first 20-30 minutes. I wouldn't hold past then if you do that. Like I said, after that, if you're going to do that one, just know the best thing, puts at $377.25 once it hits that, man. So if we're going to have some sort of insane day, some sort of insane, like get rich quick type of day tomorrow, this is our best case scenario to get rich quick tomorrow. We need SPY to rapidly sell off. We need SPY to rapidly sell off and go to $366. Once it goes to $366, we buy the call options, ride it back up to fill the gap towards the 377 range. Once it hits 377s, play puts. That is the absolute best case scenario for us to get rich tomorrow. That's the absolute best case scenario. So I gave you the best level for calls. I gave you the best level for puts. Hopefully one of those levels hits. Hopefully it happens, man. Hopefully it happens, whether it's calls, whether it's puts, or it can be both. It truly can be both. So also use today's chart as guidance. Remember, we retested pre-market major resistance, bearish candlestick, big sell-off, reversal at 10 a.m., shot back up to fill the gap. Once the gap filled, big downside potential. So yeah, that's going to be it, man. That is going to be it. And remember, 377.25, best level for puts, right? Heading into tomorrow. So we'll see how it reacts. And if it does react to support, it does, start breaking out, I want you to understand that this is a make it or break it level. Another make it or break it level, write this down. You know, this that 377 to 378 is an important level. If that breaks out and turns into support, then we look to buy puts at today's high, which was $380.30, 380.60, right around there. Those are the best levels. Tomorrow is going to be an absolutely phenomenal day within Trader Society. If you do want to join us tomorrow and trade live with us at Market Open, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. Now let's discuss some stocks. Let's talk stocks here. So in terms of stocks, right, we got Roblox, and I did end up entering some Leap put options today. Not the best entries, got squeezed, but market's selling off, so it looks like it's going to be working out, right? I got some Leap put options that expire in like a month from now. Roblox is one of them. With that being said, it looks really bearish. You know, we're not looking that bullish at all. There's a gap to fill below at 26.87. I think that gap could fill by end of July, so I'm kind of riding out some Leap options on that. Overall, I want you to understand, make it or break it level for Roblox is going to be this right here, which is $33.78. Basically a dollar above, 90 cents above where it's at right now. That's the make it or break it level. And it's reacted as a resistance for almost 2 days in a row. Yesterday towards the close and today towards open. Pretty bearish. So this will be on track to continue to go lower. And I'm going to keep an eye on it, man, because Roblox is looking very, very overall bearish. So that's like a midterm Leap swing I have. In terms of other stocks I'm watching, like in terms of tomorrow, guys, I'm mainly focused and interested in trading the SPY. Best level for Visa puts, 199.50. That's a key level for Visa puts I'm looking at. It's just a lot of these are probably going to open up lower tomorrow since the SPY is gapping down. Keep an eye on Alibaba. I mean, just all of these are looking fairly bearish. LLV is starting to look a little bearish, forming those lower highs. Yeah, I mean, everything's just looking overall bearish. If Meta cracks this 158.75, it'll get ugly tomorrow. If it cracks that, likely bounces first. Ooh, SGen is getting interesting here. We're getting a lot of consolidation towards highs, a lot of resistance. I'm waiting to buy some Leap puts on that. LI, really bearish, man. I picked up some Leap puts on this one today as well. These are the first Leap put option trades that I've made in about a month. This is really bearish. It shot up to fill the gap, reacted as resistance, bearish candlestick. SPY looks like it wants to go to 366 by next week. It looks like Leap puts are on track to print within some time. Yeah, I mean, we're not looking bullish on any of these, man. It's not looking good heading into tomorrow. Let's see, GameStop sold off like I expected it to in my 2 previous videos ago. Man, everything's just so bearish, man. Everything, literally every EOG couldn't even like sustain. Yeah, everything is just really bearish right now. So I mean, heading into tomorrow, I'm mainly focused on the SPY, guys. I'm mainly going to be focused on SPY for stocks. I'm looking at Roblox and I'm looking at Visa. I'm sure something new will pop up on the pre-market scanner as well. But yeah, that's really gonna do it. I mean, just really gonna ask yourself, does this look bullish? To me, this looks really, really bearish. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing a wick. I'm seeing a support. And when it hit the support level at 380.50, big upside potential, right? Now, when it cracked and turned it into resistance and started forming a top wick instead of a bottom wick. See, this is a bottom wick. It's bottoming at support. It's bottoming at support. This is a top wick. It's a small top wick. This is a bigger top wick. And you could see these wicks, right? See how these wicks are at that previous support, right? So as soon as it cracked, as soon as it reacted as a resistance level, SPY just got crushed. It sold off for new 52-week lows. It rips back up to previous support, which is very normal to happen with the SPY when it cracks massive support to rip back up to previous support. That's why you wait to buy puts when it goes back to these gap fill levels, to the previous support level right around here in the 380s. Now you can see right here, when we filled this gap at 390, at 389, it started to react as a resistance overall. And then it started coming back down to fill this gap below. We had a gap to fill below at 378. So we got these 2 key levels. We got this gap fill level here at 378. We got this major support level here at 380.54, these 2 key levels. Yesterday, that 380 level reacted as a resistance. Today, that 378 reacted as a resistance and it closed under. Both of the key levels are reacting as a resistance and SPY is pushing lower and it's got this top wick and it's got the top wick. So you tell me, does this look bullish or bearish? This looks really, really bearish. What I'm seeing is it looks like it wants to come back down to fill this gap that's waiting to fill below $365.86. And you could just visually see how fast and how bad SPY crashes when it forms this wick towards this resistance. Look at this. This candle looks nearly identical, just a little bigger, but nearly identical to this candle right here at the same level. And it just gets crushed and gaps down and closes fairly weak the next day and goes even lower the next day. And we got this gap to fill below right here. So in terms of how this looks like, are we going to fill this gap first at 401.44? Or are we going to fill this gap here first at 365.86? What the chart has been saying for the past 2 days, and especially today, since it turned 378 into resistance, it is saying due to these wicks, due to these bearish candlesticks, due to these bearish confirmations, SPY is going to be on track to fill this gap that's waiting to fill below 366 into next week. And tomorrow should be a very overall bearish day. So heading into the pre-market, I'm going to prepare members to trade at the best setups. We're going to have new updated price action analysis within the pre-market. And I'm going to kill it tomorrow, man. I'm going to kill it with puts tomorrow. This is very bearish. Only interested in calls. If we drop to 366, I'm a mic drop it at that. Tomorrow's going to be a put option focused day at RIPS, pre-market resistance, previous closing price, best price. There you go. So that's going to wrap up today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. The gap fill strategy to ride calls up to fill the gap worked phenomenally. And the gap close reversal strategy to buy puts and then ride it back down worked phenomenal as well. Big shout out to Greg, who ended up swinging puts. Big shout out to members within Trader Society. Today was a phenomenal green day, man. I came back very, very strong from that, bigger red day that I had yesterday. Already come back very, very strong. Massive improvements in my trading. Very proud of those 2 trades that I made today with the calls and the puts. And then I just took some very quick in and out scalps after that. Not the best prices, more of a bigger count strategy. But in terms of trading the best setups at the best prices, riding calls to fill the gap, and then riding puts once the gap filled for the reversal, ride it back down a little bit. So today was a phenomenal day, and I'm absolutely going to crush it tomorrow. With that being said, if you want to be a part of Trader Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. Click the first link, read what's included on the page. If you're interested in joining us, you get lifetime access at a one-time fee for a limited time only. And you get to watch me trade live every single day at market open. You get to watch me trade live on stream, see the open positions. You get access to the video lesson library where you get to learn the unique gap trading strategies. You get to learn how to trade price action, how to trade both ways, both stocks, calls, put options, both ways, unique trading strategies that are consistently making us money within Trader Society. And you really learn how to master these trading strategies, how to master these options. So you'll also learn risk management, position sizing, psychology, mindset training within the video lesson library. You also get access to the chat room, to the Discord server, to the amazing community we have, to the extremely helpful members within the Discord server. These people are literally my family. And I absolutely love the chat room. So you get access to that as well. Direct messaging one-on-one. There's a lot to it. The real-time trade alerts, the watch list, the stock analysis, the leap option trades, the day trades, the swing trades. There's a lot to it. If you want to check it out, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. As soon as you join, you get instant and lifetime access for a limited time only. I'm going to leave that in the first link down below in the description. You want to join us tomorrow for a lifetime. The opportunity is there and the opportunity is now. Tomorrow should be a phenomenal green day. I am looking forward to finishing this this holiday weekend. I'm looking forward to finishing this very, very strong here. I will see you guys tomorrow live at market open.